Hey, kids, you're listening to a couple of annoyed grumpoids, and this is the 138th Simpsons podcast.
¡Viva México! ¡Viva! ¡Viva América! ¡Viva! ¡Oh suelo bendito de Dios! ¡Viva México! ¡Viva! ¡Viva América! ¡Viva! Mi sangre por ti daré yo!
That's right. We're the Simpsons podcast that discusses the animated series The Simpsons from seasons 12 and beyond, and the newest episodes when they air. Why do we do it this way? Well, seasons 1 through 10 are considered, in our eyes, the golden age, and we figure there's plenty of podcasts out there that have discussed those episodes. So we're tasked to find if anything from 12 and beyond can match those golden age episodes. And why are we forgetting season 11? Well, we've already discussed all the season 11, so check it out on our YouTube page. But I don't do this alone. I am just one annoyed grunt boy named Craig. With me, as always, is our other co-host,
Steve. Hello, Craig.
I called you a co-host.
I know. Did I get promoted or demoted?
I don't know. We used to be half a host. I bring this up every once in a while. Steve, we're recording this mere days before it becomes 2026. It's you know, as us folks from Hollywood, we like to feel like we're the Hollywood elite.
Sure.
You know, most of Hollywood shuts down after Thanksgiving, but the fact that we're working in between Christmas and New Year's is admirable, right?
We're doing it for you, folks.
Now, if we were actually a legit major podcast, they would give us screeners, and we would have watched all of the season 37 probably by now. But we're not that popular, I guess. Cesar, if you're listening, Cesar, who wrote this episode. If you're listening, hook us up. You know, give us some episodes. Matt Selman, you too. Fucking jackass. I called Matt Selman a jackass just because there's a jackass star in this episode. That's the only reason. But he knows what he did. It's just weird. I remember as a kid, like, a new episode of a TV show would not be broadcast on TV, you know, between holidays, like especially Christmas and New Year's. Like, this time of the year, our TVs were showing reruns or Christmas specials or parades and football, but not like, a new episode of something. Like, you know, your talk shows, like your Carsons and Lettermans never did episodes during this time.
No, this is the doldrums, the taint.
We're supposed to be playing with our video games and our Legos and our toys, but no, we had to, you know, sit in front of the TV at 8 o'clock on a Sunday to watch a new episode of The Simpsons.
Had to.
But I mean, not anymore because of streaming. And that's, you know, thinking about this, like, that's how, you know, appointment television was. And I guess we're old folks now because we're millennials who had to deal with appointment television. Sure, we had VCRs to record stuff, and that was great. But, you know, TV shows like a broadcast, they're just like pumping them out because all they care about really is streaming. And I think it's weird, like, they're just television, like, streamers are putting stuff out during this time. I don't know, like, like the new Fallout is out on Prime. I'm like, what? I didn't get any, like, I didn't even know the new Fallout season 2 was on Prime until, like, I turned on Prime one day. I'm like, oh, there's a new season. I guess I don't know what TV shows that these actors are promoting it on, or, you know, they're not, because there's no TV shows, like talk shows, doing stuff right now.
Exactly, yeah. I am also a fan of the Fallout show, and, like, I saw that there was a new season, and I was like, already? Even though it's probably been like a year? It took me a long time to realize who the characters were and what's going on in the show, because I had no preparation for it. And yeah, it's weird how TV is these days.
I'm behind on Pluribus. I got like 2 more episodes of that. I got Stranger Things, which and I've said it before, I'm kind of like done with TV. Like, can you just wrap TV up? Like, streamers, like, man, like, you know, we're only getting desserts now. We're not getting meals.
That's a good point. Yeah.
At least with The Simpsons. But I think they're doing that. Like, that's why we're having to do new episodes. There was a time when, like, we started this podcast where even then it was nice because we would do, like, it was almost like the SNL strategy where they did, like, 3 episodes on, 3 weeks off, 3 on, 3 off.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, Simpsons was kind of that way. Like, here's 3 episodes that are new, and then the next 2 weeks is reruns. And it was fun for us. The main point of this podcast was always to go watch random episodes from, like, 30 years worth of content. But the fact that we're just chowing down on season 37, I blame Bob Iger.
Yeah, that makes sense. He's bad.
Mostly I blame Ted Sarandos for how all media is now. So
Yeah, it's bad. It's real bad. And like, we're just consumers too. Like, I can only imagine what it's like to actually work for TV or movies, like how much that must suck these days.
yeah, Hollywood's not the dream factory. There isn't a lot of studios now. It's just, becoming a monopoly. So young people can't really get into it. Like, there's like only like 3 young kids now being able to like make films. That's like the Safdie brothers. And like, I was just trying to think like who's our like millennial celebrity. And I think it's like Seth Rogen, who's our age. Like, he's the only one who's our age that's able to make things in Hollywood.
Right. And that took a lot of time and Judd Apatow.
Yeah, well, Judd Apatow's he's like a Gen X, close to boomer maybe.
Yeah, but if it wasn't for him, I don't think that Rogen would be where he's at today, which is not any shade on Rogen, because I think he's a great dude and he seems to be making good things. I love the studio.
See, I'm talking about Seth Rogen, not Joe Rogan.
Oh, sorry. One of them's great, and the other one loves weed.
I don't know where I'm getting off on this. It's just interesting to have to do a new episode. I'm not complaining because maybe we like this new episode that came out, but I just think how they are treating like the Simpsons, like so haphazardly, like just throwing it out. Because a lot of times in this time of year, not just Hollywood is taking a sleep. When I worked at my old job, I pretty much had like 2 work days in 2 weeks, like during the holiday season. Like I have usually like 3 days off of the week for between Christmas and New Year's. So I mean each week. So I work like 2 days those weeks. So usually I'm just like partying those 2 weeks or just chilling. Like I'm on like vacation. Even work is slow. And even for a lot of people, work is slow unless you're like, someone who like works in a hospital or law enforcement or firefighter, like you're always on. But what I'm saying. What am I saying, Steve? The Simpsons, we're happy to have them back.
Yes, glad to have them back. TV's in a shit state, but the Simpsons will always be there no matter what.
We're just going to have so many more. I just know because probably in a few weeks, like they did last year, we'll just, like Family Guy hasn't been on at all this season. So it's probably, they'll do the same thing. Like they'll dump the Family Guy and then Simpsons will be repeats. And then we get to talk about old school Simpsons, which is always fun. But new stuff, I think, is very enjoyable, too. So, Steve, what'd you get for Christmas?
I got some fun cookbooks about ice cream because I've been really into ice cream making lately.
All right. Did you cook your ice cream? Because it is a cookbook.
I am, and it was like a little soupy, and so I don't know if I like this cookbook.
Yeah, I did, even though we said we weren't exchanging gifts, we each did get maybe a couple gifts just for fun.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly like this is I got a toy that I could play with my daughter, and I think you would approve of it, and I think our listeners would approve of it. And I got the Mo Sislak Mo's Tavern telephone.
Love it. Very cool.
Prank calls. Yeah, I'm enjoying these Simpsons prop products that they've been putting out. So I'm looking forward to eventually one day getting the actual Fun Zone doll. That'll be a lot of fun, especially for my daughter to play with it and have the rocket shooting out at her.
I love it.
All right. Well, there, I got to get my annoyed grunt out of the way, Steve. Should we just continue with this episode and talk about the newest episode?
Let's get to it.
All right. It's called The Fall Guy, in which Homer revitalizes Bumblebee Man's career when he becomes a secret stuntman. But how much punishment can a Stunt-Bee take before it starts to sting?
Aye.
Steve, who wrote that blurb?
I think that was the internet.
Oh, if it was you, I'd be like, kudos.
It was totally me. I did that. I wrote the sting part.
Okay, then if it was you, then it wasn't Robert Townsend then.
That's right.
All right. See, let's take a break, come back and discuss The Fall Guy.
Sounds good.
We'll be right back.
I might fall from a tall building, I might roll a brand new car, 'cause I'm the unknown stuntman that made Redford such a star.
We're back today. We're talking about The Fall Guy. It's the 12th episode of the 37th season. It's episode 802 in the show's run. Original air date December 28th, 2025. The nerd code is 37ABF6. It was written by Cesar Mazariegos. Directed by Timothy Bailey, and the showrunners are Matt Selman and Cesar Mazariegos.
All right. Cesar Mazariegos is a writer and producer. He is currently serving as producer for The Simpsons, and he's written 8 episodes of The Simpsons so far, and this is the 8th that we reviewed. He also wrote the short When Billy Met Lisa. So some other episodes that he's done: I Crumbus, A Serious Flanders Part 1, A Serious Flanders Part 2, Not It, Homer's Crossing, Night of the Living Wage, the Great Bear parody, P.S. I Hate You, and now The Fall Guy. Pretty good hit record for Cesar. I think we've liked most of his stuff.
Yeah, it's fun to watch Not It after my love of Welcome to Darius.
And yeah.
I watched it the other day. It was on. I'm like, yes, I love more references. And then the series Flanders. Yeah, it's amazing. Like, I mean, we'll get into it, but like how open and willing like Al Jean or Matt Selman has let Cesar run with like story concepts. Because I feel like a series of Flanders or Not It would have been like shut down or said no.
Yeah.
Like in earlier seasons, because he gets to kind of play with the Simpsons toys in a fun way. And this episode, I think, maybe similar. Like, we never expect a Bumblebee Man background, but I think what he will deliver, like, of course, I think he's probably the only person as a Simpsons writer who should be allowed to write about a Mexican character,
especially this day and age. But you're right. I think like you take like the Serious Flanders duo, that is such a high concept episode, and then to make it a 2-parter even, and he didn't give us the hip hop. What are the Great Fatsby, like that was like they let somebody else with the Simpsons toolbox, and that didn't work out so well. But I feel like this is good.
Like Great Fatsby was just long and not interesting. It was by I don't know off the top of my head, but it was a couple of the like mainstay writers, like a Tim Long, I want to assume, or a Frank maybe. Let's go throw them under the bus.
Sure.
Sorry.
Yeah. And maybe we should revisit it at some point, and like maybe we were wrong, but I don't think so.
The one episode that we've always talked about revisiting, and we haven't, is probably our first episode that we really were the annoyed Grunt Boys. And that, of course, was A Scorpion's Tale.
Rock you like a hurricane.
That's right.
All right, Steve, let's just begin this episode. And it begins, as it always does, at a Little League baseball game. I feel like maybe that's true for like 4 episodes.
I feel like we had a lot of intros into Little League. It's an all-American game.
It's the 6th inning at Android's Dungeon. Masters have 2 runs, while the Little Flaming Tires have yet to bring a runner home. Uter is up to bat for the Tires, and Bart is on the pitcher's mound, thinking about the stakes. If he strikes Uter out, the team gets a pizza party, and Bart will die a legend. And if he loses, they'll only get the pizza party.
That's the stakes of baseball. You get a pizza party either way. But it's a swing and a miss from Uter, causing Comic Book Guy to shout out from the bleachers that he's seen better batters at the International House of Pancakes, which I would hope so, because they're a House of Pancakes. They should have good batters. Uter's father, wearing traditional lederhosen, reminds Herr Comic Book Mensch that they're watching a kid's game and there's no place for such trash talking. So, unfazed, Comic Book Guy continues his heckling, shouting, "Send the eunuch back to Munich."
Don't forget, Uter's also still wearing his lederhosen with his baseball uniform.
That's true. And didn't he die at some point?
No, he's back. I feel like the death of Uter was a Halloween Treehouse of Horror thing.
It could have been, yeah.
Or did they? I feel like is there even like a true death on The Simpsons? I think it's still Bleeding Gums Murphy, Frank Grimes,
Maude,
Beatrice, Grandpa's first girlfriend. What's her name? Marsha Wallace.
Cribhopple.
Yes, yeah, her character. And Mona's dead.
That's true.
Snowballs 1 through 8.
Mm-hmm.
Maggie, she's not in this episode. I'm assuming she's dead.
Yes. There's many clones in the basement.
Oh, jeez. Anyway, so shouting blitzkrieg, Uter's dad tackles Jeff Albertson, punching him repeatedly as they roll onto the field, much to the delight of the children. So, as Bart puts it, it only took 200 years, but baseball finally got interesting. So, Herr Zorker is dragged, kicking and screaming, into a cop car, but the resilient German takes control and throws the police into the back of their own squad car. This leads the kids to compare just how tough their own fathers are.
Dang, that dude's a certified badass.
Our dad could take him. He teaches Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu on Zoom.
My dad does security for James Corden. You know how many people want to punch James Corden? Well, my dad's a badass too. I bet he could kill everyone in town through workplace incompetence.
Oh, Bart, dumbass is not synonymous with badass.
Oh, yeah? Well, what does your dad do?
Executes inmates via lethal injection.
Whoa! Ha ha!
My dad is tough.
So I think that we have a newer Martin, like a newer era of Martin, where aside from just being a smart kid, he's also kind of a dick.
I feel like as kids growing up, the smart kids were kind of dicks anyway.
Yeah. But I feel like lately we've seen him be more kind of sassy, which I don't mind. It's fun. But his dad did have a career change or two.
Yeah, well, it's weird. The last time we saw Martin, his family had like a really nice house on the lake. And I don't know how much lethal injection executioners make these days, but if that's what the kind of house you get from an executioner, sign me up.
I mean, crime's rampant, so, monies must be good, so.
Didn't he also, I swear, didn't he work at the power plant with Homer as well? Like, wasn't he a supervisor?
At a certain point, yeah. I think for the longest time, like in the quote-unquote golden age, he was a stockbroker because I think about Bart on the road, and the way that Bart gets some money is because Martin is on the stock exchange and he gets rich, but he gets greedy for soy futures because his dad is a stockbroker.
Okay, maybe. Oh, you know what it is? I think, Sherry and Terry, aren't they? Like, they worked at the plant with Homer.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, like, our dad's your dad's supervisor.
That's right, yeah.
I swear we're talking about, like, season 1 or 2, I think. I'm thinking of. Yeah, but how about that, like, ha-ha from Nelson when Martin makes, like, the joke? It's like, I think this is kind of the beginnings of Nelson really, like, being attracted to Martin because Martin is the brains and good old Nelson be the muscle of their relationship.
That's right. And, I think that there's like
top bottom
quiet respect for his future father-in-law or whatever.
And wouldn't it be interesting that Nelson is the bottom and Martin is the top?
Ooh, yes.
I think that's how it's going to play out. Sorry, listeners. We have to bring this up.
Yes, but you're probably right. Well, as Bart wonders if his dad is indeed a badass, Homer cowers onto a picnic table, threatened by a goose. Homer throws all his cash at the aggressive waterfowl, promising to hit up the automatic teller machine should that not be enough money.
Do you have to put your PIN number in the PIN at input to receive the money?
Yes, your cash at the ATM machine.
Back at home, Bart calls Homer Slugger, asking if he's watching the game, and Homer's actually watching a competition show called The Great Masked British Bake Off, which features celebs baking in the tent while wearing costumes such as Disco Toilet, Samurai Bear, and Nurse Shark, which Homer is pretty sure is Nancy Pelosi.
I would absolutely watch that show. I've not seen more than 3 seconds of The Masked Singer, and it looks awful. From what I understand, it's just a lot of exposition, a lot of I wonder who it could be, and there's 4 minutes of content and just a lot of build-up. But I do enjoy the Great British Bake Off, so combining the two might be fun.
And isn't the joke always that the celebrity, the panel that's trying to guess who's the celebrity under the costume is like, oh, that's either Barack Obama or Taylor Swift, and it turns out it's Vanilla Ice.
Right. It's Scott Baio.
Yeah. Well, remember the big controversy was Ken Jeong walked off because one of the Masked Singers was America's mayor, Rudy Giuliani, and this was right after the 2020 election, so he was really pissed about this hero of ours spreading disinformation.
That Ken Jeong spreading disinformation, I hate it. Respect our mayor.
I was talking about the other guy.
Oh, no. Bart tells Homer that he has 2 tickets to the MMA fight that evening, adding that it should be pretty badass. But Homer suggests that Bart take Lisa, since she can use some toughening up. Hearing this, Marge gives Homer an ultimatum. Either he bonds with Bart or help her fold some laundry. And after taking a considerable amount of time looking at both the laundry basket and his son, Homer agrees to go to the fight.
So the first thing I thought is, I bet if this was you and me, we would choose the laundry over the MMA fight.
I love doing laundry. It's great.
Our house is kind of the reverse of your typical, patriarchy, matriarchy, family standards.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the one who does the cooking and cleaning. I do the laundry. I do the cooking, like I said. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a positive output for our daughter seeing me do like the woman's work, as people would put it.
Absolutely. In our household, we do our own laundry because it's our clothes and it's our responsibility. Why wouldn't you just do your own clothes?
Yeah. Well, I do both, Steve.
No, I think that works. Whatever works for whomever.
But yeah, definitely. I have never had interest in MMA. Like,
Back when we were frequenting bars often, it was kind of the height of MMA. And I just remember, like, anytime you go into a bar on any screen, there'd be fighting. There'd just be, like, on ESPN, whatever. It'd just be MMA fights. And it's just a lot of sweaty, bloody dudes hugging each other. And it's like, I don't really want this. I don't like this. I would never.
I do remember watching some of the female MMA because there was at that time a woman that was from Portland who was a fighter, and so I would always like root for her just because hometown represent.
Sure.
Yeah. So, but again, it's almost like Foxy Boxy, but with bloody women. Yeah, it's just a big thing. But I will let you know that I do have 2 tickets for you and I. There's going to be a big MMA fight this coming year, maybe on the 250th anniversary of this country. I got courtside seats with you and me and our good pal, Donnie T.
Well, as long as it's a patriotic event, I'll be there because I love our country, especially where it's at now, and especially where it'll be in like 9 months from now. I'm sure it'll be great.
We got, I got S tickets right next to Kid Rock himself.
Oh boy.
I think our pal Kelsey Grammer is going to be there. Mel Gibson, John Voight,
maybe Sylvester Stallone from TV's show on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, I think he'll be there. We're going to be hanging out with the most popular people in this country.
Wow, even like superheroes like Dean Cain
and Hercules.
Wow, yeah,
not Xena though. No, God, no.
I don't think so.
Anyway, Steve, it's a bloody fight. 967 at the Springfield Brawlmuseum, where a name is facing against another name. So the announcer, Ayu and Jickles, I don't know, is this like a Mr. Mixelplex type of pronunciation?
I don't know boxes, but I think the joke is that one is all vowels and the other one is all consonants.
Oh yeah, A-E-I-O-U. Oh, I get it. O-A-E-I-O. Oh, that's very funny. J.K., let's.
Just kidding.
Lights. Just kidding, lights. Okay. So the announcer asks the crowd if they are ready to fist, but before fisting commences, we meet some of the celebs of the audience, such as retired heavyweight champ and CTE denier Dedrick Tatum, aviator and man about town Arnie Pie. I like how he's just surrounded by women. Have we ever seen him like not with his headphones on?
I don't think so. Yeah, he just looks like a dude.
And we have the Latin star and owner of tonight's sponsor, I.B. Cabiza Mezcal, or as we have known him for 37 years, Bumblebee Man.
Ah, yes, beloved Bumblebee Man. So before the violence begins, the camera pans through the crowd looking for the most macho fan. Former American Gladiator and love interest of Luann Van Houten, Pyro rips off his shirt and makes his pecs dance. Next, we see groundskeeper Willie, and he rips off his facial hair, and then through pure masculine will, regrows his beard and mustache. And then the camera lands on Homer, who receives boos from the audience as he munches on some cotton candy. Ugh. Thinking that he's on the kiss cam, Homer smooches the disgusting sweet treat, much to the embarrassment of Bart.
This is one of my favorite scenes of Homer thinking this is the kiss cam.
Yeah.
I was hoping that, like, when he started kissing, it just, like, started melting. Steve, not a fan of cotton candy.
I hate cotton candy. It's the worst. It's up there with, like, circus peanuts as gross things.
By the way, we're not talking about the food cotton candy and circus peanuts. There's a strip club and strippers there named Cotton Candy and Circus Peanuts.
I don't think it's peanuts.
Oh. If there was a strip club where the strippers were named Cotton Candy and another stripper named Circus Peanuts, I think that'd be a kind of a fun strip club. All right, Steve. Business pitch idea. We better mute this so that our listeners don't hear it. So we're going to hear like 30 seconds of silence because I don't want this idea stolen.
Of course.
Okay, it's muted. All right, they're good. Okay, sidebar, right? Okay, circus-themed strip club. What do you think?
I love it. We could have like for men and women, or both genders.
All genders.
And you could have like like a lion tamer with a whip and a top hat and nothing else.
But maybe the whip is really his hammer.
Yeah, you can have an elephant, which is also just a hammer. That's trunk,
I like the idea of like a female stripper where like her breasts have the nipples have the clown honk nose.
And we could have like a tight rope walker, and she just walks on a rope, but she's tight.
And can the pubic hair on the said female be like Krusty's, like green and full?
I'm glad you said more things than just Krusty, but yes.
And here's my crusty vagina. Hey, kids. Yeah. Oh, she's a ventriloquist act. I love it. See, we're going to hire so many people for this circus porn. Not porn.
No.
I mean, it's almost like burlesque.
Yeah.
But, with hammers. Anyways, I'm going to unmute this so we go back to the show. All right. And there we go. So Bart tries to pull the cotton candy out of Homer's hand. That's what he'll be doing at Mars Strip Club, too. Declaring that he's the wussiest dad in town. And Homer is taken aback by this, quite literally falling down the steps of the auditorium. As he tumbles step by step, Lenny and Carl each notice that the other shoes are untied. They do a crisscross, bending over together, creating a perfect ramp to propel Homer into the air. He then ricochets like a pinball between the bellies of Barney and Chief Wiggum.
A lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
He then lands in the middle of the octagon circle on top of the MMA fighters. The ref declares the cotton candy fatso to be the winner. Bart runs down, begging his father not to cry on pay-per-view. But the rest of the audience is impressed by Homer's fall into greatness, especially Bumblebee Man, who shares his story, as we'll hear in this clip.
Senor Fatso, that was the most hilarious fall I've ever seen in my life. The antics, the physics, the annoyed grunts. Sir, I would like to buy you a drink.
Throw in a food and you got a deal.
Wow, the Bumblebee Man. You're a Springfield legend, dude. Like Krusty or Duff Man or the Tiki Bar Strangler.
You flatter me, young man. And please, call me Pedro. I didn't know you... yacht rock types watch my show.
Are you kidding? I don't know Spanish, but when you get kicked in the junk by a nun, you speak the international language of crotch.
Believe it or not, I didn't set out to be a physical comedian. I left Mexico with dreams of being a serious actor in Hollywood. Unfortunately, I was brought to the wrong sign by a stupid, money-hungry coyote.
Is the coyote a reference, a callback, you think, to the when the goose was chasing Homer?
Oh, yes. I was also thinking about the space coyote voiced by Johnny Cash.
I actually just meant the goose that was taking Homer's money, even though Homer... Okay, in the beginning of this episode.
That is true. Yeah, that's probably more likely. We learn that Bumblebee Man's name is Pedro, which is interesting, but also the guy playing him is Humberto Vélez, who plays Homer in Latin American dubbing of The Simpsons, and a couple of the other Latin actors in this episode also provide the voice of the rest of The Simpsons. So this is really kind of a cool thing, because not only are we learning about Bumblebee Man, but we're seeing the actors, or hearing the actors who play The Simpsons in other parts of the world.
Yeah, that's a really cool trivia. I like that. I approve.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, that stupid, money-hungry coyote led young Pedro to Springfield, where he was distraught, having the worst day of his life. He then discovered that the new Spanish-language channel, Studio Ocho, was airing, which made the best day of his life.
So Pedro's beginnings in show business were quite humble, working as a janitor using a mop to bat at a beehive hanging over a dumpster. And then Pedro fell into that dumpster and was stung several times. That's his origin story. He then caught his foot in the mop bucket, causing him to roll down the studio lot through several cacti, including one hitting him in the crotch. He then rolls through a wardrobe cart, resulting in the iconic Bumblebee costume that he's most known for, shouting, "Ay, ay, ay, las vidas de Ferrera y cruel," which means life is ironic and cruel. So true.
Well, people all laughed with delight at Pedro's clumsy antics, and an executive walked up to him and told him that he would be a star. So Pedro responded in his native Spanish that he doesn't speak English, but nonetheless, Bumblebee Man was born. So he was the perfect blend of tragedy and comedy, cursed by the cosmos, none like Sisyphus or Benny Syphilis Hill.
One of those two guys is really funny. The other one is Benny Hill. Pedro describes how Bumblebee Man would always get up and try again, regardless of what life would throw at him, such as tiny exterminators chasing him with a giant fly swatter, and hardworking everyday people related to that show, watching as a family, feeling inspiration that they may not have gotten from their, lesser Oakland Raiders.
Pedro goes on to tell of the bumblebody sacrifices he's felt through the years, as we get to see him get paddled on the ass by an old lady while stopping to smell the flowers, receiving a mallet in the toe from another miniature dunce, getting kicked by a boxing kangaroo, and getting hit with a rolling pin by his on-screen wife while flipping through the pages of Playboy, all in the name of comedy.
Pedro thought he was truly invincible, like Curly from the Stooges, but sadly he was merely a mortal shimp. And as a grandfather clock smacks him with a fly swatter, Pedro comes to the realization that time comes for us all, and his show now limps in the shadow of its one-time glory. And then he asks the Simpsons if they can relate in any way, and we see that hardworking family from before, older and tired, and we see that Abuela has gone, and that the Oakland Raiders are now, sadly, the Las Vegas Raiders. Yep, things are bleak. But then Pedro found Homer.
Are you gonna quit?
I was. Until I saw your father's hilarious fall down those steps. You got up without a scratch.
That reminds me.
Homero, would you do me the honor of becoming my stunt double?
Stunt double? That's the badassiest job a dad could have. He'll do it.
What, are you crazy?
Think about it, Homer. You get to crash cars and have bottles broken over your head. All the stuff you do now, but you get paid for it. You'd be the toughest dad ever. Say yes.
You've got yourself a stuntman.
He said yes!
Your dad was a, what's the word?
Alcoholic?
Had many careers and jobs in his life. Was he ever a stuntman?
Not that I know of. I know that he was a roadie. He was friends with circus freaks, but I don't think he was ever a stuntman.
You're not supposed to say freak, Steve.
Sorry, my dad worked with talented freaks.
He probably had to dodge a couple bullets in cars in his days.
I'm sure he did, yeah. He also briefly, was involved with the Indian mafia. That's real. So yeah.
From India, or are you talking about the Native American mafia?
No, from South Asia.
Okay. Yeah, but who hasn't been, right?
It's true. It's a tired old gag, I know.
Well, at Channel Ocho, Homer arrives donning the costume that will save Bumblebee Man's career. It is an armor of hope, a beacon of light, a symbol of truth, justice, and the Mexican-American way. Pedro then points out that Homer is wearing his stingray in the front, and Homer laughs it off, pretending to sword fight with his big old black stingray. It's a very goofy, funny scene. I wish we would have seen it.
I know. It's funny, though. But before Homer can get to work, he has to sign a non-disclosure agreement, since Pedro's fan base would be devastated to learn that he isn't performing his own stunts. But Homer's happy to oblige, as he's already signed plenty of NDAs in his day, like the one that he just signed at work. I guess it seems that Springfield's drinking water is full of radioactive nothing.
So in a classic kitchen scene, Bumblebee Man is making delicious pastries while also boiling a pot of lobsters. He turns on the mixer to full power, causing the batter to shoot out everywhere, particularly on his face. The director calls for a double, and Homer takes Pedro's place as the PA covers his face in batter.
So as Bart cheers Homer on, the scene continues. Homer blindly fumbles around, reaching into the boiling pot and getting pinched by a lobster on each hand. This causes him to fall butt first into the hot oven, and he runs around, ass aflame, sticking his behind, or should I say, behind, because he's a bee, into the freezer for relief. That relief is interrupted as the fridge falls to the ground, and Homer falls with it.
Pedro then returns to his mark, saying in Spanish that he does not like life, the creature, and laugh with glee. remarking that the old magic is back. At the dinner table that night, Bart shows off pictures of his stuntman daddy, saying that everyone wanted to give him high fives, even the non-writing producers, which Marge knows are hard to impress. Bart can't deny that he's beaming with pride, but sadly, he can't take that pride to school with him.
Bart's proud of Dad.
Bart's proud of Dad.
Oh, it's true. I can't wait to tell the kids at school that my dad is Bumblebee Man's stunt guy.
No dice, boy. That's a secret. Remember I signed that MDMA?
Oh, man, what's the use of having a badass in the family if you can't brag about him? Now I know how the Mangionis feel.
Dad, isn't it problematic for a white man to double for a Mexican actor?
The director thought that too. So he gave me these brown sleeves to wear.
But that's brown face.
No, it's just brown arms and legs. Besides, with all the ice going on these days, isn't it better to have a white guy suffer instead of a Mexican guy?
Well, you got me there.
Not too much suffering, right? Because I don't want you getting badly hurt.
Relax, honey. It's all pies in the face and slipping on plantain peels. I'll be fine.
I feel like we're like, okay, let's take a temperature of the world 2 weeks ago, and we'll record this one scene, get all the politics into this one scene. We'll call it good. We'll reference Luigi Mangione. We'll talk about ice. And we'll just take care of it so that way there's no question about when this was taped.
Well, let's not forget that Cesar is a Hispanic man, so he's allowed to bring this up.
I've got no issue with it. I just think it's funny how they put it all in there in this one scene.
It's particularly funny that Homer is like, look, they got enough problems going on. Let me take the hits.
Yeah. I think it's handled very well. I just think it's funny that they both reference Luigi Mangione and ice in this one scene.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Mangione's family because they're probably very proud and they can't be like, we need more like that.
Especially his deceased father, Chuck.
That's right. Rest in peace.
Back on set, Bumblebee Man plays a waiter doing the classic pulling on the tablecloth bit. Homer takes Pedro's place just as a bull charges at that red tablecloth. In an homage to Buster Keaton, the front of the church falls on Homer, though the window wasn't strategically left open. And then in another scene, Homer plays a car hop who is stuck once again by a charging bull. So the ratings are on the rise, and the Latin American viewers are full of laughs and joy. Viewers like Julio, Dr. Nick, Senior Ding Dong, and Senior Group Los Souvenir Waquitos, and Pepsi.
Yes, we get a nice little homage to various Latin people who have graced the screen of Springfield. Good to see Peppy again.
It's Pepsi, Steve.
Oh, right. Sorry. So Homer arrives back at 742 Evergreen Terrace, surprised to find Bart at the front door hugging him. Homer sheds a tear. He's never received an after-work hug from his son. And not to mention that he has 3 fractured ribs from the side that Bart happens to be hugging. Bart hates that he can't brag to his others about his dad, and he wonders how Homer can live without getting the proper credit. But Homer doesn't need credit when he gets post-work hugs from his twin boys. Because it seems that Homer has a concussion and he's seeing double, 4 Barts, something that the Barts shouldn't tell their mothers.
So at Russo and Flink Grill, Pedro praises Homer's stunt work, but Homer humbly tells his new friend that it's all just a day's work. He then goes to pee blood when Pedro is greeted by some jackass.
Bumblebee Man? What? I am a huge fan. I'm Johnny
Knoxville from Jackass. Of course I know you.
Oh, my goodness. Every great bit I ever did was because of you. Power Wash Enema, Crab Jacuzzi, Fire Ant Facial.
You're too kind. Tell me, when is the next Jackass picture coming out?
Oh, I'm done with those, man. My body just can't take it anymore. But the studio keeps asking. They even suggested I secretly use a stuntman.
The nerve of those frijoles counters.
They don't get guys like us. We'd rather traumatize a film crew with our grisly on-set death than ever let some stuntman take our hits, right?
Hey, Pedro, they need us back on set so we can...
Huh. Who's this fella that's got your exact size and build?
This is my trainer. He keeps me comedically obese.
Hey, you're doing a bang-up job, Tubby. Let's toast. They might have replaced our knees, shoulders, and other stuff, but they can never replace our integrity.
Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah, there he is. Johnny Knoxville. I said before, like, I think we talked about, like, I like the Jackass movies. I think they're funny. I just never really watched the show when it was on. Like, I remember like a lot of people loved it. Just wasn't my thing. And it, I think, because you watched Jackass as a teen.
Yes.
Was it like Johnny Knoxville always kind of considered like not the funniest one to you? Like to like a lot of people, like he was just the cute one who wanted to be an actor. That kind of is what happened.
Kind of. So because like they come from like a lot of skateboarding like culture, and the thing is like a lot of people on the show Jackass, especially the videos and whatnot before the movies, they were skaters who were like really good at skating, and they do stunts based on skateboards. And Johnny was more of a stuntman, and he also was, you know, traditionally attractive, and he's kind of the cool guy. So yeah, he would do like stapling his testicles to his thigh or whatever when other people were actually doing like hard stunts. And so yeah, I think that he like lost some credibility among some people because he wasn't like doing any skating tricks or anything impressive other than just like putting his body through a lot of pain. And Steve-O would do that as well, but he would do it to much higher levels and it's put himself through crazy, stupid things. And now he's kind of been through a lot.
Yeah, and like Bam Margera, and like it seems like everyone who's not Johnny Knoxville kind of like did so much fucked up things with their body that they're all their own personal person. I don't know what to say.
That's true, yeah. But yeah, Johnny Knoxville, I'm sure he's probably a great guy. His real name is John Clapp. No, Philip John Clapp, which is weird.
I mean, Knoxville is way better. Yeah, he just kind of always seems like he wants to prank everybody and do so. I wouldn't want to be in a room with him. Is what I'm trying to say. I feel like
that.
He's always gonna do a bit.
I wouldn't want to drink. I wouldn't want my drink near him. I'll say that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want anybody. I don't want my body near him.
That's completely fair. I guess because he was a stunt performer, it seems fitting that he'd be on the show. So that's whatever. So Pedro feels that he's both a liar and a fraud. Homer's fine taking the pain for a bit, but Pedro believes that his audience expects him to getting banged hard and often. And he lied about that. And why? For the ratings? For the money? Or for that stupid Calvin Klein billboard featuring Bumblebee Man posing in his tidy whities? Pedro cheerfully calls himself a sellout, but Homer tries to console him, saying not to cry in front of the gringos.
Pedro is ready to quit show business since it is no place for phonies. Homer thinks he should stay since the show is more popular than ever, and Bart's never been prouder. So Pedro is determined, saying that nothing will change his mind. That is, until a mysterious figure appears in the shadows.
Hola, Pedro. I am Alejandro González Iñárritu, Oscar-winning director of The Revenant.
That movie was so funny when that bear ate the boy from Titanic.
Yes, thank you. I found your old script, and I must make this film. You will be the star of the most action-packed, death-defying, uninsurable picture ever made. What do you say?
I say, let's make a B-movie!
It's so nice of Pedro to let us come along for the filming. What's this movie about anyway?
Well, if my Spanish is correct, and it is, it's an epic time travel adventure about a humble bee man who gets hilariously hurt during the most important moments in Mexican history.
I haven't seen The Revenant. Is that how it happens?
I have not seen The Revenant either. Just because I don't like that bear violence. I mean, violence towards bears, because I know that Leo wears the bear like a sleeping bag at some point, right?
So he isn't eaten or he is eaten? Is it Grizzly Man?
I think it is Grizzly Man. I think he does like, I think he like gets eaten and then he cuts his way out or something. I don't know.
No, that sounds fun. That does sound like a funny movie. All right, Homer, I'll watch it. Laugh like you did. I do like the coincidence that when Homer's talking about the boy from Titanic, it's very funny. Of course, that's DiCaprio, but like in this episode, especially right now, Homer is wearing the denim outfit with the jeans and the tucked-in shirt and the jacket, and that's very much the character that Brad Pitt plays in Once Upon a Time, who is DiCaprio's stunt double.
That is very funny. I do like that parallel. Yeah, that is. Also, I didn't want to say that I mentioned this before, I think, but my wife and I went to Mexico City last year, and it's really cool because like where they're standing, I've been, and it's just kind of cool to see like Simpsons footage of a place that I've been internationally. It was just neat.
I mean, there hasn't been episodes where the Simpsons went to Portland and we saw Portland landmarks.
It's true. So the Simpsons have been everywhere that I have. So now it's my goal to be everywhere the Simpsons have been.
And you have. You were in the Galapagos Islands.
Mhm.
You went to that leper island in Hawaii. You've been to Africa, all of it. You've been to Antarctica. You've been to Japan. You've been to Delaware.
Yep.
Did you do a joke about that?
I just haven't been to Springfield.
So we're still looking for that elusive Springfield. We've been to Capital City many times.
Oh, yeah.
And Shelbyville. But Springfield.
Someday.
Maybe. Is Springfield... I just now realized that. Is Springfield Gungadin? Is that the musical that a town magically appears like every 100 years?
Oh, right. Gungadin?
Gungadin, yeah. Maybe that's what Springfield is. That's why no one ages.
Oh, that could be.
It just shows up in random states like every some odd years. That's why the time will the kids don't age, but the technology does.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. I think I solved it.
I think you did. Wow. It took us 6-7 years, but
Yeah.
Hey, 6-7. There we go. So in Mexico City, Pedro declares that his action-packed film will make billions in Mexican pesos at the box office, and he's willing to risk it all, brain damage, paralysis, and life itself in the name of cinema. Marge questions Homer, as he said it would just be pies in the face and slipping on plantain peels, but Homer assures her that something just got lost in translation. And Marge points out that Pedro was speaking in English, causing Homer to exclaim, "¿Qué?"
Pedro finishes his mighty speech by saying that Bumblebee Man has always and will forever continue to do his own stunts. Later, in his trailer, he tells Alejandro Gonzalez the truth.
FYI, I don't do my own stunts. He does. That guy with the chili-dusted popsicle.
Sweet.
Spicy! What? You lied to your fans? To your country? To your own director? The movie's off!
What if we hide his face with this green screen mask?
The movie's back on! We are in Lake Texcoco. Thousands of years ago, here, Bumblebee Man will find a symbol from the gods that will one day be emblazoned on the flag and in the heart of every Mexican. Cue Snake and Eagle!
No! Ow! Oh! No! They're biting me! Ah!
Cue more snakes and bigger eagles!
Ah! Ah! Oh, get him on me! Too many snakes! Ah! My childhood dream has come true.
There's a snake inside me!
Oh man, the multiple the slapstick animation in this episode is top notch. I love it, and it's very akin to a lot of those Hispanic slapstick TV shows that you might cross, especially when we were kids. Like you cross on like Telemundo, and that was the whole point of Bumblebee Man.
Yeah, growing up, I didn't really have cable, so I was not familiar with like Latin American TV until I was like 12 or 13. And so it was such a revelation for me, like flipping through cable as being a little bit older and seeing the character like Bumblebee Man. I was like, oh, I get it now. That's great. So Homer, in his green screen suit, relives the rich and complex history of Mexico, etching the seal of a pyramid before it falls on him, and then falling off a horse into a lit cannon, and then shot into a wall, and then being propelled by fireworks into a church bell. And I've been to that church.
You should go to churches every day, Steve.
That's right.
Here, Steve, I have a goal for you in this 2026. I want you to visit every church in the world.
Okay.
By the end of 2026, you'll have gone to every single church on this planet. Is that a deal?
I think so. I'll start big. I'll go to Notre Dame, and then I'll go to the one around the corner from my house, and then the rest.
I'm not just Catholic churches, Steve. Every church.
Okay, I'll go to the Church of Satan and the Church of Latter-day Saints.
You have to go to Church's Chicken as well.
I'm fine to do that.
You'll start there first.
Yes. Quick side tangent. When I was like 23, I took a trip to Las Vegas with my girlfriend at the time and her parents. And the dad had never been to a Church's Chicken because they're not in the Portland, Washington area. And so the first thing we had to do when we got off the plane is we had to make a beeline, for get the pun, to a Church's Chicken just so he could get some fried chicken. And at the time, I thought, that's insane. Like, why are you doing this? I get it. It was good chicken. Like, it's no better than Popeyes, but still, fried chicken's great. And I don't blame him for that. It was probably the best part of the trip.
I remember when I went to Arizona the first time, after like getting off the airplane, the place I went to for the first night was an In-N-Out because I had not had an In-N-Out hamburger before.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny that I had it in Arizona first before California.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, I did the same thing. So, I swear we used to have a Church's Chicken up in this area, but it's gone, or maybe it was something else.
It's, I think what it is, it's the separation between churches and state.
Yes, there was one Church's Chicken up in Vancouver, Washington, which is right across the river from Portland, Oregon. I never had it there, but it closed a few years ago. Yep. Sad, Steve. There is 5 locations in Washington State, though.
Oh,
apparently. Wow. There's one in Bremerton, Federal Way, Lakewood, Des Moines, and Fife.
No idea.
There's none in Oregon, it looks like.
We don't like church here in Oregon.
That's true. You're all a bunch of Satanists.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's our Church's Chicken chat, which is weird because at the time. So, wait a minute. There was Church's Chicken at the time when you were 23 in this area.
I think there might have been before then, and then, like, because that was, 20 years ago.
Yeah. All right. I think there was, because I remember the Church's Chicken, never been there, but it was where my mom worked at the time. But she died in 2003. So maybe, I don't know. Because that's probably,
I mean, he could have been wrong, too. Like, he was a crazy dude.
You should go and punch him in the face.
I don't really, yeah, I mean, I will. I haven't thought about him in a long time, and
well, I just want you to punch someone in the face, and if it's got to be him, it's got to be him. Just
Fair enough.
Don't do me, because that'll hurt.
Yeah.
Hurt.
You need a stunt double.
All right. Homer arrives from the movie set to his rental home, where he's greeted by Bart. Injured, Homer ducks out of the way, missing Bart's eager hug. Homer says that he dodged the hug because he spent the day getting his Aztec kicked. Marge tells Homer that he needs to quit, and Homer assumes that she's referring to drugs, and he replies that he needs his pain pills. And there in Mexico, they are actually affordable.
Not a political podcast, but it is, like, shitty how we, as Americans, are, like, consider ourselves so elite and so much better than other countries when, like, right across the border, we have so much people are going across the border to get drugs because they can't afford them here, and they're really plentiful in Mexico. It's just a sad state of affairs. But Marge doesn't understand why Homer would put himself through all the pain, and Bart is worried that Homer is just doing it to impress him. And Homer admits that admiration is a huge part of it, but there's also the bromance element. So many threads. 2.
So in a wedding scene, a man admits the truth to his bride-to-be, Luz. He rips off his mask, revealing a luchador mask underneath. That segment of One Life to Live is interrupted by an English news bulletin.
Beloved actor and hometown hero Bumblebee Man has been exposed for using a stunt double. Late last night, our station received this photo from an anonymous source.
Hey, that's the picture Bart took. Pequeño demonio!
I didn't do it. It wasn't him.
It was me!
It was? I thought I did it.
I guess we both did it?
I was lying a second ago. I also did it.
Why, you little...
I'm sorry about Pedro, but we couldn't stand by and see you get killed.
Or worse, become someone we have to sponge.
Oh, you care for me, but don't want to care for me. I feel the same about all of you.
I deny these vicious rumors, and to clear my name, I invite my fans to come see me perform my movie's most dangerous stunt. A comedic tumble down the steps of Teotihuacan.
I do love that the family is actually concerned and cares about Homer.
Yeah, I think that's very sweet. And I like the line about, you care for me, but you don't want to care for me. Very good.
I mean, that's how you feel, right? Like,
oh, yeah.
Like, I don't want to sponge bathe my parents. I mean, luckily you don't have to, Steve. If you did now, it'd be very weird.
There'd be ashes all over the sponges. It'd be gross. I just think it's weird, too, that when Homer thought that Bart revealed the picture, he choked him, which, Homer does. But then when he revealed that it was the rest of the family also, he choked Bart again, which is also funny. But it is kind of worth noting that there's a face that Lisa makes being like, oh, that could have been me being choked, which adds a whole darker element to that.
Are you saying you wanted Homer to choke Lisa?
Yeah, and Marge, too. Show them who's boss.
But not Maggie, because she's not in this episode at all.
Exactly. So Lisa thinks falling down the steps of that pyramid is suicide. And she also notes that it's still on their site of things to see. Homer, after struggling to pronounce the name of the pyramid, shouts, "To the Mexican Triangle."
Director Alejandro Gonzalez pleads with Homer, saying that he is the only person that will talk sense into Pedro. Homer notices several cameras set up, and Alejandro says that it's better to have coverage and need it than to need coverage and not have it. And Homer is ready to help. And with the assistance of several helicopters from the Transpo department, Homer is airlifted to the top of the pyramid, where he begs Pedro to call off the stunt.
Pedro, stop! You can't do this!
I must. I was supposed to suffer for my fans, to distract them from their daily troubles. And I lied to them. Now my only path to redemption is pain. Hilarious pain!
Hey, your fans don't want to see you suffer for real. They just want to see a goofy guy in a bee costume saying ay 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 about stuff. All I wanted was for my son to think I was a badass. But you know what I learned after taking all that brutal punishment? I hate that kid, and what he thinks doesn't matter. Oop, it does that now.
Ay, Dios, look at you. Making this movie has broken the body of my best non-Mexican friend in the world. Can you ever forgive me?
On one condition. Don't do this stupid stunt.
I won't. I love you, man.
I love you too.
Very sweet moment. I do like the visual of Homer breaking his arm, or breaking his arm out of alignment is really funny.
I don't like that at all.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
I don't want that to happen to me.
I probably
Have
won't.
you ever dislocated a body part?
No, I've mislocated my keys, but I've never dislocated a joint. Have you ever, I've actually never done, any real major damage to myself that way.
No, I haven't dislocated. I think it's because when I was a kid, we were hiking the family, and my dad, slipped on a rock, but, threw his arm up to grab, balance.
Mm-hmm.
And the way he threw his arm up dislocated his shoulder. And we were about 45 minutes to an urgent care because we were on the coast. And I remember the place we were hiking was just in between cities or towns that had a hospital or urgent care. And so, I had never seen my father in pain. As a kid growing up, you just see your dad as my dad just as a stoic's not the right word, but just as a quiet, grumpy, not grumpy, just quiet man.
Yeah.
And never showed emotions. And that's healthy, I assume. But I just remember him whimpering and in pain. I have never seen this happen. So, so, finally get there. But I just remember I never want to dislocate anything again. And I've been around people that have dislocated and they're fuck. And then, they pop it back in themselves. How do you do that? I don't know. I know people can do it and it seems easy. I hate it when it's on TV. I hate when you see that. So yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
Seems very painful, and yeah, I'm scared of that. Yeah, so here's hoping that neither one of us have to relocate any of our limbs.
Yeah.
So the two men hug and cry until Homer suggests that they go eat a taco stand into submission. Pedro agrees, but both of them don't really realize just how many tears they shed. They both slip and fall down the many, many stairs of the pyramid, falling, and falling, much to the delight of the onlookers below. One man's troubles are removed by the sight of the suffering, and the director thinks that the sight is beautiful, telling the assistant to remove Homer in post.
At the stand, Tacos Omoyekin, Pedro and Homer enjoy several tacos, Homer remarking that he's glad that they weren't hurt in the fall, and Pedro looks around and is unsure about their fate. They are surrounded by the Day of the Dead skeletons. Pedro asks one of the skeletons about their life status. After checking out Homer, they tell him that they are in a coma and they will be there for a while. They look forward to the break along with some cold cervezas. And, yeah, speaking of breaks, that sounds good. I want a cold cerveza and be in a coma. That sounds like fun, Steve. Do you want to do the same thing?
Yeah.
All right. Let's go ahead and drink some cervezas and put ourselves into a coma, but then come out of that coma and wrap up this episode.
Sounds wonderful.
We'll be right back.
Se viste de abejorro Pedro pa' salir frente a la cámara. Su dolor da risa a miles y le gana mucha fama. Pero está débil el viejo, sus huesos suenan como matraca. Pedro contrató un doble con la cabeza de hierro y una panza bien grandota, un calvo de nombre Homero. A reunirse se volvieron buenos amigos y compañeros.
We're back. Let's wrap up this week's episode of The Fall Guy. See, we'll talk about some of our favorite jokes and scenes, maybe an MVJ. We'll give it a review, find out what we're watching next week. But before all of that, we'd like to find something from this episode that could be turned into a gift or multiple things. And this week, even though Christmas was last week and we're kind of gifted out, Steve, I still had to get you gifts.
Of course.
Every week you get presents from me.
And presents to you as well.
Oh, yeah, right. Usually yours are more thoughtful and practical. Mine, on the other hand, are like this. Steve, Johnny Knoxville was on this episode, and so he gave me some ideas.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're at that age where you're going to have to get work done to your butthole. And so I thought before you get your exam down there, you're going to need to be cleaned out. So I'm going to get you a power wash enema.
All right.
And, you know, spring is going to be right around the corner. And when spring is sprung, there's going to be so many bugs flying around. You're going to need to swat them down. So you're going to get a comically oversized fly swatter that could hurt a human. I know you're not a fan of this particular candy of cotton candy, but I got you the next best thing, and that is a sex worker by the name of Cotton Candy. I'm sure, you know, I'm a big sporto, and I like the game of baseball. You probably already got me one, but I got you one as well, and that is the Android Dungeons. Pretty cool purple and green hat there with little the logo from the droid on it. I thought you would wear that as a hat.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. I wonder if we could get those hats made at the our TeePublic site. I know there's hats available, but I don't know about in that color. And the Flaming Tire one looks kind of fun too. So I'll look into that, Steve. Let's see. What else do you want from this episode? Let's see here. How about a cannon that you can stick your butt in and be shot out of?
Okay, thank you. It's good because my own butt will be clear of anything that I can shoot out of it from the enema. So.
And finally, the one last gift you get will be this dumpster full of bees.
Well, thank you. It's very nice of you, Craig.
I hope my gifts will be just as thoughtful.
I wanted to give you more than just presents. I wanted to give you an experience. So I got you a taco stand with tacos and cerveza and a TV so you can watch your favorite show, the Masked British Bake Off. But, you know, you can't just do that. I also got you something to wear because I got you a Canadian tuxedo. I know this episode is largely based in Mexico, but I got you, jean jacket and jeans like, Rick Dalton wore in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So, you have the taco stand, you've got something to watch, you've got something to wear. But of course, you can't do this alone. So I got you a date. That's right, I got you a date with Johnny Knoxville. So you guys can hang out and do all the good things that I'm sure that you would. And so, you told me to watch my butthole. You do the same. And also, if that doesn't work out for you, I also got you a subscription to Playboy.
The Mexican version, not the actual Playboy. Do they still make Playboy, Steve? You would know.
Sure. Yeah, I think they do.
All right. Well, thank you for the gifts. I will cherish them for years to come.
Thank you. I as well.
And speaking of coming, what were the jokes that made you laugh in this episode?
I really liked all of the slapstick. I really liked the restaurant scene, or not the kitchen scene where Homer is taking Bumblebee's man's place, Pedro's place, with the batter on his face, and making pastries, having the lobster. It's just such a silly, goofy thing. The snakes and eagles, and just amping that up. Basically, the slapstick humor in this is really funny. And I really like that scene at the dinner table with talking about Mangione's family and the brown sleeves, and isn't ice doing enough damage to brown people? Like I don't know. I think it's really fun topical humor that really works well. And I think if I had to give a most valuable jokester, I mean, we don't get to see a lot of Pedro. We finally get introduced to him, so I'm gonna give it to him. But I think a lot of people were great in this episode. What about you, Craig?
Yeah, I think the slapstick hits because it's very relevant to like a lot of that old Mexican slapstick humor television that you would see, like we mentioned. Even they mentioned like Benny Hill, same thing. Like slapstick was such an important comedy for all of us, not just the Mexican culture, but the way it keeps going and going, and it made me laugh. Like just especially the MMA fight with Lenny and Carl, how everything is just so stupid and silly. That's why slapstick. I like the heartfeltness of the Simpsons family at the end. Of course, they were wanting to make sure Homer didn't die from the stunt, so they all submitted the photo, even Bart, and then proceeding to Homer only choking Bart. I love the origin, of course, of we already said like the slapstick, but the origin, like just some of the scenes, like the origin of Pedro was really hilarious. Of the cactus, in the bee of dumpsters, all good stuff, and even the beginning, like I said, with the baseball. All in all, Steve, what's your real true feelings about this episode?
As we go into talking about the modern Simpsons age relative to the old school classic ages, we talk about, they're just going to introduce these characters, these B characters, these C characters. Well, this B character, I'm glad to know, because he is a B character. He's the best B character, because he's a B, and he's a character. Pedro, it's really cool to get to know his backstory, and it seems very justified the way that we got to know him. It feels very organic, very natural. Also, I just think that the story of Bart idolizing Homer, I think that's kind of like a fun way to introduce this. Homer's history with like Homerpalooza and him falling off the gorge shows that he can take the hits, and the boxing episode too. So we have a history of Homer getting hurt and being okay with it. So it's all very justified. But I think that what Cesar was able to do with this episode, it deepened the world, and it didn't feel like shoehorned in. It just felt all very real. And I think the jokes were funny, and it's just kind of cool to see this side of The Simpsons. It's something fresh, something new. In this season, we've had a lot of experimentation. We did the jump forward a few weeks back, and that worked really well. And I think this works really well as well. I think that this is just a really fun episode with a lot of great jokes, and I think it offers a new voice. And speaking of voices, I just, again, think it's really cool that they're using the Latin American actors throughout this episode. And so it's a great homage, and I think that it's also a good reminder of how big The Simpsons is worldwide, and how the Latin American community and others all around the world enjoy The Simpsons. And so, yeah, just a great episode all around. And so if I had to give it a ranking, Bumblebee Man, of course, is a character inspired by Chavo del Ocho. And that show has been going since started in 1972, and there were 312 episodes. So out of 312, I'm going to give this a solid 300. I would say that in Spanish, but I don't remember my Spanish numbers that well. What are your thoughts, Craig?
I agree, the same thing. Like, if you were to have this story pitched in the 90s or 2000s without a person of Hispanic origin, I don't think this episode would have been written as someone, who is Hispanic.
Right, yeah.
And I think, like, 37 years of not having, like, an origin of Bumblebee Man. If you were to just put this, like, saying, like, yeah, in season 18, and, like, okay, we're going to have a Bumblebee Man episode, it would have been very, like, stereotype, I think. And even though the stereotypes are in this episode, I think that's the point, is, like, this is our stereotype. This is definitely coded into Cesar's voice, like, as like, this one of the strong writers of being Hispanic. Like, this is him, and this is him all the way. I'm almost wondering, like, I don't know anything about the man's personal life, but there's a scene where they show a Hispanic family, And I'm wondering if this is just like an homage to like his family, like him growing up watching The Simpsons,
Mhm.
and The Simpsons being like such a popular show with everybody. Like it's not coded, as a single group of people. Like, it feels that way, but I think I've heard people say that like The Simpsons is coded as like a black family.
Yeah. I love it when during Halloween time when you see families dressed up as the Simpsons and you see like, like a black family or a Hispanic family dressed as the Simpsons. It warms my heart because they're just people and they're the most relatable family ever to be on TV. So yeah, it works well.
The beautiful thing about it is the trivia that you said was that the actual actors who do the Spanish dub for The Simpsons are in this episode. So the man who's doing the Bumblebee voice is Homer Simpson in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that Dan, the American voice of Homer, and the Hispanic voice of Homer are at the 2 point at the center of this episode, I think is so awesome. I love that this episode kind of reminds me of akin to the episode where Homer tries to become Krusty, and just a lot of like has to do all the things that Krusty doesn't want to do. But at the heart of it, it's about family and Homer caring, or the Simpsons caring for Homer. This episode sounds silly and dumb, but it's executed well, and I think Cesar is like one of the top writers for The Simpsons at this point, like of a newer writer. Like I could see if the show keeps going down the line, like he might be the successor to like the Matt Selman.
Hey, I could see that happening, and I'm here for it. Like I think it's cool.
That being said, Steve did mention the TV show that Bumblebee Man was based off of, so I can't do that, but I will talk about another B product, and that's B Movie, everyone's favorite Jerry Seinfeld film.
Hey, what about Pop-Tarts? The Pop-Tart film. What about the Pop-Tart film? Everyone loves that film.
I don't think I saw B Movie, but I'm already going to say I'd rather watch B Movie again over the Pop-Tart movie. Anyways, so I went to the Rotten Tomatoes, and the tomato meter is at a 49%, while the popcorn meter is at a nice 53. And Steve, what happens when you combine 53 and 49? You get 102, so I'm going to give this episode a 102.
I like it.
Another hit out of the park, because there was baseball.
True.
And to begin this episode for Mr. Cesar Mazariegos. Steve, did you know that next week we have to do this again?
Oh, boy.
But not this episode.
It would be weird, yeah.
We are going to do a new episode. That is the 13th episode for season 37, which is scheduled at this point to come out on January 4th, on that Sunday, probably around 8 o'clock your time.
That's good, because I got a thing 2 days later, so that's perfect.
Wait like 3 more years, Steve. After that. That's what will be more important. Anyway, Steve, what do you think the episode is called?
Well, this episode was called The Fall Guy, and so going with that theme, I think next week's episode will be called The Winter Gal Yo.
No, of course not, Steve. I'm going to give you an extra hint. It's a parody of a title of a TV show that came out last year, or that's a new series that you enjoy.
Well, one of my favorite shows, starring one of the funniest people in the world, Tim Allen, is Shifting Gears. So I'm going to say Shifting Beers?
Oh, you said you didn't watch that show, Steve.
No, of course not.
I'm talking about a different show that you like, starring Adam Scott. That's right, Severance.
Oh, yeah, that's a good show.
Okay, it's called Seperance. What do you think that's about?
I'm going to say that he listens to his favorite rock bands, like, I don't know, REM or Talking Heads, with a podcaster. And then they talk about it. But that it's Homer, of course.
Are you just stuttering because you figure if it's a parody of the TV show Severance, that it's probably going to be the same plot? Well, you might be right, because Homer's enthusiasm skills land him a job at a secretive company with a mind-altering agenda. So I think we will get some Severance jokes in this. This reminds me of when they did the Yellow Lotus, and I had never watched the White Lotus, so the jokes went over my head. But this time, Steve, I have seen all 2 seasons.
Yes, truly, I love Severance. It is one of my favorite shows outside of The Simpsons, so I'm excited to see that.
And Shifting Gears.
Yeah, of course.
I am looking forward to this parody of Severance. Steve, I'll let you know that one of the stars of Severance, Zach Cherry, is a guest voice on this episode. So he probably gave his blessing. And we have a old-time writer, one of the classics, Jeff Westbrook, wrote this episode.
Great stuff. I'm excited for that.
All right. Well, Steve, you know what I'm excited for? To get to know our fans. And they can do that by emailing us at 13simpsons@gmail.com or contacting us on our social Instagram at 13simpsons or YouTube at 138simpsons.
And hey, we'd also like to hear from you on the podcatching apps, so leave us a review and 5 stars, but you don't need to write a real review. Just tell us how you became a Latin slapstick star.
And don't forget to check out our Patreon, where we have bonus episodes every week. That's patreon.com/annoyedgruntboy. Sign up today for $5 a month. It's a hoot that'll make you toot.
And hey, go to tpublic.com/user/annoyedgruntboy and get yourself some sweet Annoyed Grunt Boys gear. We've got some shirts, we've got some hats, and we maybe someday will have the Android Stunt-Man baseball cap. Who knows?
But don't count on it right now.
That's right.
All right. For this week, I've been Annoyed Grunt Boy Craig.
And I've been Annoyed Grunt Boy Steve.
And remember, dumbass is not synonymous with badass.
La vita es ironica y cruel.
How many people want to punch James Corden?